Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. A Velco weather hazards alert is in effect for thunderstorms, some of which are tapping into wind fields, capable of producing isolated cells that could be strong enough to produce some tree limb damage. And the main aspect area here is definitely across portions of Bennington, Windham County, which has already seen most of the action, eastern Rutland, as well as a good portion of Windsor into Orange County, and now headed up toward the Northeast Kingdom. Also would include Washington County, maybe parts of eastern Lamoille County, and into Orleans, Essex counties, and Caledonia County. Seeing thunderstorms pretty much work up this morning through the area here, and the heaviest action right now over Orange County around Groton Forest, and then back, this will be headed up toward the St. Johnsbury area shortly with locally very heavy rainfall and potential for some gusty winds greater than 40 miles per hour, maybe up greater than 45 miles per hour, as stronger wind fields aloft are in the process. Looking at the latest Storm Prediction Center guidance, you can see capes are pretty high here, and we also have the 40 knot, 35 to 40 knot shear. And right now, this is kind of where things are. And looking at it from a different perspective, concentrating on where the shear is, you can see 40 knots, even 45 knots across the Champlain Valley currently. I'm not expecting a whole lot of action across northwestern Vermont as we have a cold front, and the boundary layer for higher dew points and higher capes, or convective available potential energy, is off across mainly eastern and southern Vermont. And so these wind fields are interacting with some of the clusters of thunderstorms that have been forming and then working across the region. Let's take a look at another aspect here. And what you're looking at here is dew point temperatures. Kind of does explain what's going on. This has also had a history of some pretty heavy rainfall across parts of Massachusetts adjacent to Vernon and Brattleboro. Strongest thunderstorm cell worked across portions of New Hampshire is now in the process of dying out. But there's a little bit of a twist in the motion here, and suggesting a little bit of a vortice. The leading edge of the thunderstorm seemed to be the strongest, and tracking through parts of Vermont through Caledonia County now, and headed very rapidly up toward the Canadian border. I'm expecting a series, another cluster, to develop off to the west and south of us. Maybe not as widespread and tight a cluster, but we are looking at more where that came from. And looking at live lightning really does tell the tale here. There's a little bit south of Danville now in the Groton Forest region, and then also some clusters of thunderstorms in the areas around New Hampshire. This is going to be streaking up in this general direction, so areas around portions of Caledonia, eastern Orleans, and Essex County are going to be under the gun next. Again, I'm expecting some regeneration that could work across the Green Mountains, at least points east, and affect portions of Washington as well as Lamoille, and into Orleans County a little bit later on this morning, or maybe into the early part of the afternoon. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.